I think in today's environment, your governance has to be as practical as possible and as risk informed as possible. And I think what I mean by that is each organization needs to first and foremost to determine what their risk tolerance and strategy is, and especially what their financial appetite for adopting in technology is. And as I continue to converse with a lot of our members, it's either, do we buy, build, or partner or invest with a specific solution developer. And where I think organizations are heading, and where I think is going to be most important is every organization needs to look at a specific AI solution, regardless of whether it's FDA cleared or not, and be able to say, okay, what's the risk level? What are the controls that I need to have in place? Do I have the infrastructure to be able to put those controls in place and effectively govern it, and not just do some validation to make sure it fits within your population, but go from all the way to that type of testing, all the way to monitoring and make sure that it's done, and then really determine what our risk tolerance is as we continue to monitor that. And so at Chai, we're in the process of right now taking not only what the FDA has put out for years in terms of risk, but also gathering from a Gen AI perspective, from a non-clinical perspective, all the way to including agentic AI solutions, providing the community with a risk-based classification system so that you can walk through a series of questions, answer them, come out with a perspective that's been vetted by numerous organizations, and then go back and make your decisions more effectively on how you put the proper controls in place. Because at the end of the day, there are certain solutions that should not be necessarily governed as strictly and with as many controls, because they don't present the type of risk that like a clinical solution would. So if a person is not going to be harmed, life or death, by a solution, then putting a significant amount of controls on that for a revenue cycle or for the administrative type of solution probably doesn't make as much sense, because you have limited resources. But if something is very technical, is very clinically focused, and a chance of harm is pretty significant, then that's where you're going to want to make sure that you have the proper controls in place. So that is a project that is forthcoming, but I think organizations are starting to realize that, hey, we can't approach every AI solution the same. We're going to have a little bit of a tiered approach in terms of what our risk appetite is and what our governance is for those different types of solutions.